Isaiah 22 to 24. The burden of the valley of vision. What troubles you now that you have all gone up to the housetops? You that are full of shouting, a tumultuous city, a joyous town. Your slain are not slain with the sword, neither are they dead in battle. All your rulers fled away together. They are bound by the archers. All who were found by you were bound together. They fled far away. Therefore I said, look away from me. I will weep bitterly. I do not labor to comfort me, and do not labor to comfort me for the destruction of the daughter of my people. For it is a day of confusion and a treading down and perplexity. From Adonai Elohi Tzvaot in the valley of vision, a breaking down of the walls, and a crying to the mountains. Elam carried his quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and Ker uncovered the shield. The choicest valley were full of chariots, and the horsemen set themselves in array at the gate. He took away the covering of Judah. On that day you looked to the armor in the house of the forest. You saw the breaches of David's city, that they were many, and you gathered together the waters of the lower pool. You counted the houses of Jerusalem, and you broke down the houses to fortify the wall. You also made a reservoir between the two walls for the water of the old pool. But you did not look to him who had done this, neither did you have respect for him who planned it long ago. In that day, Adonai Elohi Tzvaot called for weeping and for mourning, for baldness and for wearing sackcloth. And behold, joy and gladness, killing cattle and slaughtering sheep, eating meat and drinking wine. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we will die. But Adonai Tzvaot revealed himself in my ears. Surely this iniquity will not be forgiven you until you die, says Adonai Elohi Tzvaot. This is what Adonai Elohi Tzvaot says. Go, get yourself to this treasurer, even to Sheba, who is over the house, and say, what are you doing here? Who has you here, that you have dug out the tomb here, cutting himself out a tomb on high, carving a habitation for himself in the rock? Behold, Yahweh will overcome you and hurl you away violently. Yes, he will grasp you firmly. He will surely wind you around and around, and throw you like a ball into a large country. There you will die, and there the chariots of your glory will be. You shame of your master's house, I will thrust you from your office. You will be pulled down from your station. It will happen in that day that I will call my servant Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and I will clothe him with your robe and strengthen him with your belt. I will commit your government into his hand, and he will be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. I will lay the key of David's house on his shoulders. He will open, and no one will shutter. He will shut, and no one will open. I will fasten him like a nail in a sure place. He will be for a throne of glory to his father's house. They will hang on him all the glory of his father's house, the offspring and the issue, every small vessel, from the cup even to all the pitchers. In that day, says Adonai Tzvaot, the nail that was fastened in a sure place will give away. It will be cut down and fall. The burden that was on it will be cut off, for Yahweh has spoken it. The burden of Tyre. Wail, you ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in from the land of Kittim. It is revealed to them, be still, you inhabitants of the coast, the merchants of Sidon who pass over the sea have filled you. And O great waters, the seed of Shihor, the harvest of the Nile was her revenue. She was the market of nations. Be ashamed, O Sidon, for the sea has spoken, the stronghold of the sea, saying, I will not travail, nor give birth, neither have I nourished young men, nor brought up virgins. When the report comes to Egypt, they will be in anguish at the report of Tyre. Pass over to Tarshish. Wail, you inhabitants of the coast. Is this your joyous city, whose antiquity is of ancient days, whose feet carry her far away to travel? Who has planned this against Tyre to give of crowns, to the giver of crowns, whose merchants are princes, whose traders are the honorable of the earth? Adonai Sevaot has planned it, to stain the pride and glory, to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. Pass through your land like the Nile, O daughter of Tarshish. There is no restraint any more. He has stretched out his hand over the sea. He has shaken the kingdoms. Yahweh has ordered the destruction of Canaan's strongholds. He has said, you shall rejoice no more. You oppressed virgin daughter of Sidon, arise, pass over to Kittim. Even there you will have no rest. Behold, the land of Casdim, a people who no longer exists. The Assyrians appointed it for those who dwell in the wilderness. They raised up their siege towers. They stripped its places and made it a ruin. Wail, you ships of Tarshish, for your stronghold is laid waste. And it will come to pass in that day that Tyre will be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of the 70 years, it will be to Tyre like the song of the prostitute. Take a harp, go about the city, you forgotten prostitute. Make sweet melody, sing many songs, that you may be remembered. And it shall come to pass after the end of the 70 years that Yahweh will visit Tyre. She will return to her wages and will play the prostitute with all the kingdoms of the world on the surface of the earth. Her merchandise will be her wages. It will be holiness to Yahweh. It will not be treasured nor laid up, for her merchandise will be of those who dwell before Yahweh, to eat sufficiently and for durable clothing. Behold, Yahweh makes the earth empty, makes it waste, turns it upside down, and scatters its inhabitants. It will be with the people, so with the Kohen. As with the servant, so with his master. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the creditor, so with the debitor. As with the taker of interest, so the giver of interest. The earth will be utterly emptied and utterly laid waste, for Yahweh has spoken this word. The earth mourns and fades away. The world languishes and fades away. The lofty people of the earth languish. The earth also is polluted under its inhabitants, because they have transgressed Torah, violated the statutes, broken an everlasting covenant. Therefore the curse has devoured the earth, and those who dwell therein are found guilty. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned. A few men are left. The new wine mourns, the wine withers, and all the merry-hearted sigh. The mirth and tambourine ceases, and the sound of those who rejoice ends. The joy of the harp ceases. They will not drink wine with a song. Strong drink will be bitter to those who drink it. A confused city is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man come in. There is a crying in the streets because of the wine. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. The city is left in desolation. The gate is struck with destruction. The gate is struck with destruction, for it will be so within the earth among the peoples. All the shaking of an olive tree, as the gleaning when the vintage is done. These shall lift up their voice. They will shout for the majesty of Yahweh. They will cry aloud from the sea. Therefore, glory, Yahweh is east, even the name of Yahweh, the God of Israel, in the islands of the sea, from the uttermost parts of the earth. We have heard the songs, glory to the righteous. But I said, I laid waste. I waste away. woe to me, the treacherous, even dealt treacherously. Yes, the treacherous have dealt very treacherously. Fear the pit and the snare are on you, the inhabitant of the earth. And it will come to pass that he who flees from the noise of the fear will fall into a pit, and he who comes out of the middle of the pit will be taken into a snare. For the windows of on high are opened, and the foundations of the earth will tremble. The earth is utterly broken. The earth is torn apart. The earth is shaken violently. The earth will stagger like a drunken man, and will sway back and forth like a hammock. Its transgression will be heavy upon it. It will fall and not rise again. It will happen in that day that Yahweh will punish the army on high, ones on high, and the kings of the earth on the earth. They shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and will be shut up in prison. After many days they will be visited. Then the moon will be confounded, and the sun ashamed. For Adonai Sevaot will reign on Mount Zion, and in Jerusalem the glory will be before his elders.